What up, everybody? It's the Built Different Podcast. Sean and Ricky, 4th of July episode, celebrating America, the beautiful country we live in, and our privilege to live in, and work in, and play in. So, Sean, I guess kind of thinking about America, American history, our great 50 states. You know what I mean? Traveling, going up. You never traveled outside of the U.S., so pretty much all your travel experience has been in the U.S. Started off with celebrating these 50 states, like travel, where have you gone, favorite places, favorite things you've done.
Yeah, I think it definitely depends on time of year because obviously that's a
Mm,
factor with weather and stuff. One of
yes.
my favorite places to go has been Maine. I love, the lobster, seafood. And up there is just so beautiful, especially in the summertime.
Mhm.
I don't know if I would necessarily recommend it in the winter. It's a little chilly for me, but um, absolutely beautiful in the summertime, going up to like Bar Harbor and things like that. Um, I've been to Hawaii. I think Hawaii is one of the most beautiful places in America.
In the world,
Um,
I would say.
yeah, I'd love to go back out there at some point. Um, and then obviously I'm impartial to Florida too. I like Florida. Um, I don't know if it's like necessarily like a travel destination. I mean, it is a travel destination for some people, but growing up going down there a lot and, having family down there, it seemed a little bit less, you know, uh I guess like special, like it wasn't like a big trip for me. It was like, oh, that's our year, like one of the yearly trips. Um, but then, yeah, I mean, as far as um places I still want to go, there's definitely lots of those. I'd love to make it out to um I've been to Arizona, but I'd love to make it out to Sedona. I've heard really good things about Sedona.
Hmm.
It's very spiritual. I would like to see, the Grand Canyon. I'd like to see like Zion National Park, um, things like that. Uh, and I'd like to make it out to like California too. I've never been out to California. Um, Oregon, I've heard is really nice. I'm obviously a big disc golfer, so places where there's really good disc golf out west. I'd love to make it out there. But yeah, that's kind of my favorite places slash like a few of the places on my to-do list for the next, few years or whatever to try to travel to. How about you?
Uh, yeah, I always say this. I've traveled probably more outside of the U.S. than I have in the U.S. But yeah, I mean, you talked about Florida. I love anywhere with water. You know what I mean? I think that's the big appeal with Florida. Water on all sides. You know what I mean? We're the only state with. Yeah, we're the only state with water on both sides, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
other than
Had to,
Hawaii.
other than Hawaii. Yeah. Had to do fifth grade geography in my brain again. Yeah, the beaches. California is really cool because being on the East Coast, we don't have the mountains. So the Californias, the Colorados, um, the Nevadas. I think Denver. We had both went there not too long ago. I enjoyed Denver. I liked it. I mean the beautiful greenery and lush trees and traveling up the mountains and then snow-capped mountains, man, and then seeing the wildlife up there. Going to Red Rock was really cool when we did that. Even the
Yeah, Red
wild,
Rocks was
what was it,
great.
the cranberries or wild thornberries or something that I went
The
perform.
Bare Naked Ladies,
That was
and
the
well, that
oh,
was the
okay.
main event. I don't know if we were there when they performed, but we saw Gin Blossoms. I remember that.
Gin blossoms. I always say the cranberries. I don't know why. But yeah, the concert wasn't great, but it was. I mean, Red Rock was incredible. Just driving up there and seeing the Red Rocks, and then even whole whole like auditorium, not an auditorium, but a whole what would you call it, concert venue, really
Yeah.
built out of the Red Rock. Man, it was. Whew. I would love to go back to see a concert that I would actually want to go to. The sound was a little weak though, right? Like the sound was like,
I was surprised. I was expecting better with the acoustics because I had heard that
yeah,
like, oh yeah, it's gonna, like it.
bounce off the rocks and
Yeah, and
yeah.
it wasn't as good as I had originally thought. But I
Maybe it
mean, it
was
was
that show.
still what?
That's what I was hoping. Maybe it's that show.
Yeah, it was still also like an excellent, just excellent views there.
Oh
And
my God, yeah,
the other
yeah.
thing too is we got there a little late, so we didn't have our choice of seating necessarily. We're kind of up in the
The,
top. Like I think if you were a little bit more in the stands, it might be a little better too.
the seating was cool too, though. But yeah, Red Rock was amazing. I mean, getting out of Red Rock and seeing like a deer, like you know what I mean. We don't in the city. We don't tend to see those things too often. Well, you're more outside
I
Jersey,
I
so
see deer pretty often, but
true. Yeah. For me, it's incredible getting that close. But yeah, California, as I said before, places I do want to go though. Oh, another place I love going, Vegas, just fights and Vegas, the hotels, and it's different out there. You know what I mean? It's always a good time out there. Was like my second home away from home for a couple years. But places I'd love to go, Alaska. I'd love to. I mean, an Alaskan cruise even would be dope. You're like whale watching. I'd love to see like just because it's so open and so uh, uninhabited in so many places. Just seeing bears and eagles and wildlife in their natural habitat, undisturbed by stupid humans. You know what I mean? That see the icebergs before they go away again due to stupid humans. But seeing all of that, I think would be really cool. That's on my list. Seattle, I'd love to check out Seattle. I heard that's a really cool city. Oregon, I'd love to see that because you see some videos or movies filmed there. It's like, whew, it's beautiful. Um, you know, I would love to go. Texas is pretty cool. Been to Texas a couple times. I would love to. I've never been to Maine. I would love to check that out as well. Maine would be really cool. I'm not gonna eat the seafood, obviously lobster, and not about that. But I would love to also go to. I've never been to Hawaii. I've been to a bunch of islands, but never Hawaii. Definitely check that out. It's funny. I was talking to my uncle about the Pearl Harbor Museum. I'd love to go see that. Um, I would love to also go to. I said Alaska. I would love to go to Oregon, Seattle. One thing I really love to do, and I've always talked to friends about it, was like a ski trip, like Aspen or Park City, Utah. Like that's where you were talking about weather related, like seasons. Going up there during the season, getting like a big cabin, like
have you
that's
been
like
skiing before?
yeah, I've been skiing before.
Oh,
Am I good at it? I haven't done it enough to be good at it, but I would love snow to go up there, snowboard, go up there, and like rent snowmobiles and stuff like that. Man, that's been a dream of mine for a while. Just get a big group of people together, cold, put the fireplace on, like hot tub outside, like go out to the
I was gonna say you got to make sure the house has a hot tub. That's like
yes.
100% key with ski trip.
Yeah, hot tub. Just have a good time, food, drinks, go out to local spots. You know what I mean? I always want to do that for New Year's Eve, like Aspen or something, and bringing the New Year up in the mountains. That would be incredible. So stuff like that. But you know what? Really, one of my dreams is, and shout out to Leonard. We talked about this before. Going and touring like all of the football stadiums across the country, the NFL stadiums, the college stadiums, or maybe the NBA stadiums. Like we even talked about, like man, how cool would it be to have like a show where you went and you traveled to all of the different stadiums, and then you like nobody steal my idea here, but you literally, and I think somebody kind of had this after the fact, and it was similar. But you literally stay with the fans, like you live the fan life. Like those hardcore fans, like you stay with the family, like you don't check into the hotel or anything.
Yeah,
You go to the pot, you go to the bars, the restaurants that are there spots. You do the whole like pregame thing in every city. You know what I mean? How cool would that be?
I think that'd be awesome. I think I've heard of people doing, a bunch of people on their bucket list I've heard have like, go to all the MLB stadiums and go to all the NFL stadiums. But like, yeah, I agree with you that doing it where you're actually staying with and like living the life of that fan for,
Yeah.
you know, 48 hours or whatever it is, like that would be really
hmm
cool.
Yeah, doing it for like all the different sports, like you know what I mean, going to the storied venues and yeah, like just living that life, man. And then you could even do it with soccer or football, the European football as well. Like that would be cool. But
Well,
yeah, that would be dope.
you'd have to wear the jersey of the team that of the fan that you're being. That might be tough for you when you go to like New Orleans or Atlanta.
I'll wear, yeah, maybe you exclude some of the rappers from. I'll let you take those episodes. I'll be like, Sean, you go out to
Sub
New
sub
Orleans, you go out to
sub
Atlanta.
into me. Sub in for me. Uh
That for me, it's what like I gotta the Jets and the Buffalo. You know,
yeah, probably those and maybe Patriots too.
but yeah, what is your typical what is your typical Fourth of July like? What Fourth of July memories? Best Fourth of July. What do you what do you typically do on Fourth of July? What do you do with this Fourth of July?
Oh, I don't know. I mean my 4th of July kind of varies depending on the year, who's around, who's not around, like my family is gone and watched fireworks before. That's always fun. There's been times where I've worked on 4th of July when I used to work for the minor league baseball team. They'd have like games on 4th of July, and they did a big, like, they do fireworks every, few days or whatever, but like the ones on 4th of July would literally go like 10 minutes long, just like consistently shooting off fireworks for like 10 minutes. And like,
Yeah,
it was one of those things where like I most of the year I wouldn't watch the fireworks because they happen so frequently. But like that was like usually the one game where I was like, okay, I'll stay out here and watch them because I know that they're going like ham on 4th of July. But yeah, I mean we've done like barbecues, kind of grilling out and that kind of thing. So yeah, it really varies. But yeah, this year I'm actually gonna be traveling a little bit. I'm going to visit one of my buddies down in Virginia, um, who moved somewhat recently, Kevin Sco.
yeah.
Uh, so I'm going down there. We're gonna, barbecue on Thursday. I think we're doing like Busch Gardens as well, that kind of
I
stuff.
forgot
So
this was parties in Virginia.
yeah, so it should be a fun little mini vacation. Excited to kind of, be with friends and hanging out and, getting out of the house, doing something that's like that I don't do every day. So, that's kind of my plans for this
Did
year. I don't know if I have a favorite 4th of July. I mean, I know I've been down in Miami for 4th of July before, and that was fun because my uncle, I mean, back then, I don't know if it's still like this, but anyone could go and buy fireworks without necessarily having a permit back then. So
yeah,
I think my uncle would, go buy fireworks, shoot them off in the middle of the street and stuff like that. So, um,
yeah.
not
I
necessarily
was gonna ask you.
recommended, but
I was gonna ask you that. Do you guys ever do the fireworks thing? It sounds like you did. Like I don't know if you and your parents did it, but
yeah, in New Jersey, they're very strict. You can't buy fireworks anywhere. And
New
even
Jersey's
shooting them
crazy.
off, you need permits and all this other.
New Jersey
So
crazy is New Jersey got some crazy ass laws. Speaking of 50 states, New Jersey got some of the weirdest laws in comparison to the rest of the state, or the rest of the country.
we definitely do have weird laws. I don't know what, our lawmakers were thinking, but they just decide like, no, we're not pumping our gas. No, we're not doing, yeah, like they just, you know, every year they just come up with a new law that I'm just like, who thought of this? Like, because normally it's like something that's like something had to have happened for them to decide this is what we're making the law. So, but
I mean, the gas pumping thing, what could have possibly happened that said you can't pump your own gas? Like somebody set themselves on fire or something? I don't
I
get
don't
it.
know. I mean, we are for the record, we're not the only state. Oregon
No, I
also.
know. But
It's
still.
it's us in Oregon for some reason, but hey, I'm not complaining. I like not having to get out of my car to pump the gas. So if New Jersey, if you're listening to this, keep doing what you're doing. It's working for me. So Um, but but yeah, no. So I in New Jersey we can't really set them off ourselves unless you want to get arrested or something. But
So
um,
kids never get the joy of fireworks like sparkle. Man,
you can get
yeah,
sparklers. You just can't. I think like sparklers you can do, but like anything that you're launching into the air and exploding, that's probably a no go.
the Jersey's the no fun state with fireworks. Um,
But what about you? What's favorite Fourth of July? What do you typically do? What are you doing this year?
um, this year I am probably not doing anything. Um, what we used to do that I used to love. We used to have everybody come over to my house, and I used to grill out. Man, I used to kill it like kebabs, beef and chicken kebabs, hot dogs, burgers. Man, I used to kill the grill. Like I used to love like prepping everything because there used to be a lot of people coming over. Um, and yeah, I used to prep the food the night before and just go ham on like marinating and seasoning, and then there's nothing like meat off the grill. It's just I don't know. It just was talking about celebrating America. It's like freedom to eat as much meat and as much food as you want. You know what I mean? And also just being thankful that we're in a country where we have the ability to have access to food. And a lot of countries, you think about it, we're celebrating and overindulging. In some countries, people can't even get the clean drinking water. So I think that's even part of the celebration of America, and being able to have access to these things. I'm not saying that everybody in America does. Like there's some unfortunate people in the country that don't have access to food. The food, as much food as they want, or healthy food and stuff like that. But yeah, I used to love grilling, man, and having everybody come over and eat. I'd stay on that grill all day long, and then finally enjoy the fruits of my labor at the end of the day, and just chill all day, swim, and then like have desserts and eat after the fact and stuff like that. Again, like leftovers. Um, some of the cooler Fourth of July's have been going to the beach. Seeing the
Nice.
fireworks on the beach has always been cool. You know what I mean? Being a kid and going to some of the lakes and seeing the fireworks on the lakes, and being able to go with friends and stuff like that. The beach is always still going to be probably be my favorite. You know what I mean? Fourth of July's, and even some of the beaches where you can bring grill out on the beach and stuff like that, and drink and have a good time with your friends, have your music. You know what I mean? Throw the
Now,
football.
when you go to the beach for Fourth of July, has it ever been like super crowded? Because I mean, like
Oh yeah,
out of I was gonna say
oh
like
yeah.
typically like Memorial Day weekend, Fourth of July weekend, and Labor Day weekend are like the three like toughest times to go to the beach, at least up here, because it's like that's when everyone goes to the beach
Yeah, I think the Fourth of July, all the beaches around the country are probably packed. But
for sure.
it's as long as people aren't being stupid, then it's cool to see a good amount of people. Because it's like even one of the last times I went to the beach, you just kind of you're next to people and you meet people. They come to your little tent and hang out, share food. You know what I mean? Talk and meet. It's an opportunity to meet people as long as people are cool and not being assholes or anything like that. So the main thing is like the parking and stuff like that's annoying. But overall, um, it's a good time. And Fourth of July, I just I'd like to do in the future, like just go to different cities and see how they do it. You know what I mean? Like places I've been wanting to go to and stuff like that, seeing how they get down. But that was what I've done. Another favorite of mine is um one year me and my boy was like I think we were like teenagers. We would take some of the fireworks and we would put like Barbies, or we would like his sister's Barbies, or like GI Joe, and attach the fireworks to them, and just go watch them go flying in the air. And, I mean, that was fun. Like just and then sometimes their legs and everything would fall, like explode off the body and stuff like that. But
Little little pyromaniacs out there.
Yeah, it was a good time. Me and my family never done the firework thing really, but man, I have some neighbors now. I don't know where they got this, but it's like legit fireworks. I have people like two houses down, and then I think there's some people behind me. I don't know exactly where they are. I mean, they're legit fireworks. I mean, up in the sky, you hear it, and then I don't even know what they're shooting it out of. I can't, but they go crazy with it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, fireworks are fun. I mean, definitely dangerous too. We've seen plenty of people who get hurt from fireworks.
oof, I think about NFL players. We had Jason Pierre-Paul, man. That
Yeah, that's
was
the first one that comes to
crazy.
mind. It's like
Yeah,
his body's worth millions of dollars. I don't know. I think I'd let someone else shoot off the fireworks if I were him, but you know,
that's the other side of it is the scary, frightening nature of people not doing it correctly. You know what I mean?
yeah. Or like, I've
That's
seen
probably why
videos where
Jersey
someone
doesn't allow you to
shoots.
fire your own fireworks.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen videos of people shooting them off and like the cannon or whatever that shoots it off like falls
Terrible.
over and like shoots it towards the house and stuff. Like,
You remember?
it's not what you
You remember,
want.
you remember the show Jackass? They used to do stuff like that all the time.
Oh,
Like,
they used to intentionally knock it. Like
yeah,
they were like, let's see how much stuff we can destroy.
yeah,
Um,
they would go crazy with those scary things with those fireworks, man. I'm like, damn, these dudes putting them in places they shouldn't be, firing them off from places you shouldn't fire fireworks off from.
but one cool thing that I think you mentioned about, 4th of July, and I feel like this probably goes a little bit under the radar at this point. I mean, maybe not for history buffs as much, but like
Yeah,
4th of July is celebrating the independence of America, and
yeah, we don't think about that
like we just think,
enough.
hey, 4th of July, we have off from work, let's party, like that's
Hell
what
yeah, 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 no, I
typical
agree.
typical views are.
No,
But oh, go ahead.
no, I agree with you. I'm agreeing with everything you're saying here. We don't focus enough on our independence and um, what it means to have gained that independence and the whole reason for the celebration. You know what I mean? Gets lost.
Yeah, but it's cool because I mean, up near me, you know, I live in a pretty historical area, pretty much right near where George Washington crossed the Delaware River,
Mm,
um, during I guess that was the Revolutionary War. Um, so, there's a lot of things. I don't think they do. I don't know if they do anything for 4th of July, but like whenever that day, I think on Christmas they do like the reenactment of the crossing of the Delaware and things like
that's
that.
cool.
So
Hmm.
it's kind of cool seeing, people celebrate that kind of the history of, how we kind of became a country, how we, um, the people, our ancestors that fought for, that like the freedom and things that we have today. So I think that's cool.
No, that's 100%. Like that should be the focus. It's like we do that with every holiday, though. Memorial Day, Labor Day, people just look at it as days off and days which spend time with family, friends, but we don't reflect on the reason why it's the same thing with Christmas. If you're a Christian, reflect on the real reason for the season, for the holiday. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
One thing I do have to say about America, though, that I wish that I'm jealous of Europe of is we barely like they have so many more holidays than us.
really.
Yeah, it's like it'd be like a week. Every couple of months, my cousin's in London talking about bank holiday. I'm like, what the hell? Like Christmas, they don't even have only just have Christmas. They have Boxing Day, which is another celebration. So pretty much England is the celebration from the week of Christmas. I forget when Boxing Day is, and then all the way through New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. I remember Puerto Rico has a lot of holidays too. So Puerto Rico got their holidays and they got the American holidays. So they have a lot of holidays and days off.
I will say, I think you and I have both experienced this with, working, for Extropian and stuff. There tends to be a little bit less work getting done that week in between Christmas and New Year's. Not necessarily from us, but, you're in contact with people and, people aren't really getting back to you and you're like, where'd they go? And then, after the new year, people kind of get back to their desks and stuff, and then you start hearing from more people. But it's like that week in between Christmas and New Year's is always like, huh, I guess, it's not necessarily that people have off, but some people just kind of take off, I guess.
Yeah, we see that a lot with especially investors and certain business people, and a lot of these people. And this is why I said I'd love to get to this place, and I'm sure you can't wait to get to this place where you take the family on that ski trip and overseas or somewhere, and like so a lot of that's happening. Like the kids are out of school, they're like let's do the family vacation thing. Like you know, it was hard to get a hold of people from thanks. I think it starts Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? From Thanksgiving to probably January 15th, January 20, where you're just not talking to people.
Th-
Um, so.
There's a there's a guy I follow on TikTok, and he makes videos about, like he's basically like makes funny videos about work and like how he like messes up work and stuff like that. It's all like a joke, I think. But there was one where the company said like in the month of December they were going to give everyone WFH, which is from home.
Mhm.
But he thought he goes into the meeting, he's like, "Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm taking a bunch of trips and stuff." And they're like, "Oh, Brian, you still have to like work from home." And he's like, "No, WFH, work free holiday." And so he thought the whole month of December was a work free holiday. I was like, to be honest, that's, you're not wrong in terms of the production level maybe, but uh
They might drug test. They might drug test them after that.
yeah, so it was just a funny little skit, but that's what it reminded me of when you were like, yeah, from from Thanksgiving to New Year's, kind of a little bit of a crapshoot on how people are available and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Because I just started thinking about this. I was talking about the holiday. Man, how can I bypass what I used to really love to do on the 4th of July? Because I haven't done it in a while, but it was International Fight Week for the UFC, man.
Nice.
Going out to Vegas. I did talk about Vegas, but not I didn't tie the two together. But going out to Vegas, we did that. Me and my boys for probably 3 4 years in a row. Like go out to International Fight Week because the International Fight Week used to always be the best fights of the year. So the fight card of the year, you know what I mean? And so we used to do that. Just go out to Vegas, hit the pools, hit the clubs, hit the fight, hit the weigh-in, hit the open workout, and it used to always be really cool because like we would be in a hotel and we'd have the fighters like training. We had like Chris Weidman training in our hotel for he was training in our hotel for Lyoto Machida. We would see like a lot of the fighters at the pools and the pool parties we would go to. I, honestly, like looking back, and I was looking at my favorite 4th of July memories. It was those like
Has
chilling
that
in
kind
Vegas
of
for the fight weekend.
has that kind of shifted? Because like this week, for example, like obviously UFC had a pretty big fight card last
Hmm.
Saturday, but like there's not a pay-per-view this weekend, or
They,
um
I don't know why they did that, but back in the day, it really did fit on. Say 4th of July was on that weekend, it would fit on that 4th of July weekend, or it would be the fourth. Say the 4th of July would be on this Thursday. That fight card would be on Saturday.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They shifted away from that. I don't know why. One of the cooler ones that we went to as well. I think we had there was two fights. There was a fight on There was a UFC card on Saturday, and then there was a UFC card on Sunday. There was like the
Oh wow.
Ultimate Fighter finale, and they had other fights. So literally, we went out there for the main fight card, and then we went out to the well, we watched the second fight card in the casinos and stuff like that. But yeah, that
Nice.
how can I forget that? Those were my favorite 4th of July memories, and even the fireworks on the main strip, during. But yeah, we used to go out and have such man. I'd love to do it again. I wish the UFC timed it with the 4th of July a little bit better. But man, we used to have so much fun going out, meeting people, having a good time. Everybody's down to like be cool and have a good time. Hit the pool. It's hot, super hot out there, but like have a good drink and be in that water. Just some of the memories too is just like you go into those pool parties and people. There's a beach ball. People just hitting the beach ball up in the air, and all of us like having fun. Like people you don't even know. Like it's yeah. Those are my most fond Fourth of July memories. And seeing Anderson Silva train and like being like 2 feet away from him, watching him train during open workouts, man, that was a really cool Fourth of July fight card. I think he was fighting. I want to say he was fighting Chael Sonnen. Um,
And um, is 4th of July next year? Is it on a Friday?
I was just thinking about that. I want to say it's on a Friday next year.
It's always nice
Uh,
when it's on a like basically like on a day right before the weekend, then you have an
yeah,
extended weekend kind of thing.
it's on Friday.
Yes.
Um, yeah, because that's the thing. I was asking people, do you get off on Friday? Because most people got to go back to work on Friday. It's like kind of stupid, man. If you were in Europe, you would have been off that Friday. You know what I mean? They would be like, "Yo, don't go to work Friday. Just holidays on Thursday. You're off Friday."
I I think I know a lot of people that are whether they have off or not, they're kind of like, taking off Friday, like or maybe like, working remotely or taking the day um to travel or do whatever. So,
Yeah.
but
Um,
uh
that's the downside is the traveling and all the delays and everything. And if you're driving somewhere,
yeah,
the highways.
tomorrow's going to be a little bit of a rough drive down to Virginia. Hopefully not
Oh,
too
you're
much
driving
trauma.
tomorrow?
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. Good luck, man. Hopefully, if you time it right, it might be all right.
Yeah, I don't think we're timing it very well. It's gonna be rough, but we'll figure it out.
But
But yeah,
yeah,
no. But anything else with regards to, Independence Day,
I
4th
was
of
shocked
July?
I forgot about the UFC and the weekends, man. Those are so great. I'd love to, uh, you know, love to bring you out to one of those, and I mean, it's just a good time, especially if it's a good fight card. International Fight Week where you get to meet the fighters and stuff like that. We never did that. We would just see them out, but yeah, no, it's a good time. No, I think this was a really cool episode, and it really made me start to think about things that I want to start enjoying again about holidays because doing what we're doing, I haven't really I've just focused on this. I haven't really been too much enjoying the things I used to enjoy. Getting back to doing those things again. I need to buy another grill again and start grilling, having the family over, and going places and doing things, being around people. I really need to get back to that. So this was a reminder of just while we're working hard on this, just enjoying things like I used to, and to get out of this mindset of just grinding and thinking about this 24/7, where I can't clear my mind and do something else. You know what I mean?
For
But
sure.
yeah, no, be safe out there, and listen not only to Sean but everybody else out there. Have a happy Fourth. Remember what it's really about. And I think one thing about America is just I'd love to see is just unity again. Like remember, like Independence Day is like, man, we fought for freedoms, and like we're all in this together. You know what I mean? And that's the way it should be. I'm tired of this left and right bullshit all the time, and it's just so freaking frustrating. We're just Americans. Let's live our lives. Love our country. Love our fellow countrymen and countrywomen, and be safe out there. Have a good time and enjoy yourself. No drinking and driving or any of that type of stuff. But yeah, happy Fourth, everybody.
Happy 4th.